Okay, we are doing a react to off stream for once. Pog. Men deserve to be lonely. Returning to the responding to the backlash over the male loneliness epidemic. I would suggest me to watch this. I'm expecting it to be absolutely barrel responses, like the worst you could probably ask for, just because this video she did was incredibly unpopular with some people. So, but to be fair, I find commentary channels do have like a strong reaction no matter what, because opinions always have strong reactions.
Video was the one I've been working on for a while, called the male loneliness epidemic.
Let's
if you
check
haven't watched
sound.
that video, please go watch it first before you watch this one, so this all
There we
makes
go.
a lot
Hopefully
more
that's
sense, and then come back to this one. Link in the description. Now, although there was a lot of support for this video, there was also a lot of hate. A lot of hate. In fact, the most hate—
To be fair, it seems like Shoe0nHead pops in for like once a month and sets the world on fire. It is impressive that she can just drop a video once a month and everyone like loses
that
their
I've
fucking
probably
mind.
ever received on a video ever. And if you're familiar with the content I make on this channel, that should be shocking. From angry femcells calling me ugly to angry incels saying I'm a grifter who only wants to make money or
A
something.
grifter. I do think, personally, anyone that stoops to insulting someone's looks to win an argument has lost an argument, so. Keep to the points, my brothers.
Ridiculous. So before we get into those extremely untrue criticisms, let's get into today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Ridge Wallet. Ridge wallets are high-quality, minimalist wallets.
I
that
like
can
how she
hold up
changed
to
the whole
12
look. It's like,
cards,
you gotta
plus
put on
extra
the
room for all that
advertising face.
cash you
Love it.
don't have. They're made with RFID blocking technology, which protects you from digital pickpockets, ensuring that you have the perfect blend of style and security. Their products come in over 30 different colors and styles, including carbon fiber, gunmetal, and
Yeah, I'm
matte
gonna
olive.
watch it.
I'm still on my Barbie arc, so my personal favorite is the flamingo pink. They also offer matching key cases that are sleek, durable,
I'm gonna use
and
this
keep
moment
your
to make
keys
sure
from
my sound
jingling.
is fine.
So you can instead get your jingling key entertainment from Shoe0nHead videos, of course. Ridge has over 50,000 5-star reviews, and they're so confident that you'll love their product that you can try them out for 99 days, and if you don't like them, you can return them for a complete refund. They're also currently running a giveaway. You can enter to win a new Ford Bronco or $75,000.
The American Sun
Wait,
view.
what?
I love that. That's such
I'm
a
gonna
meme.
enter this.
It's like
so head
in
over to
car things where you're just
ridge.com/shoe or
driving down
click
a
the link down
road
below and enter code
like a
SHOE
real
at checkout to get 10% off your
American,
purchase,
whatever.
as well as 10 bonus entries to the giveaway. Big thanks to Ridge for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the
honestly,
ad.
anytime I
You
see
didn't
that, I
skip
just
the
think of
ad,
The
right?
Simpsons.
I
Can
can
you
always
narrow?
really count on you for not skipping
Sorry.
the ad. Right? Now let's get
Yeah,
back
sure,
to
why
the
not?
video.
Can't take her eyes when she's saying this, I had
and a
to.
man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose.
And there's a lot of truth to what she's saying there and in the whole video, which is worth
know who
watching.
this is.
That video has
yeah.
1.5 million views in just the last week.
Thanks, Matt Walsh. You're my greatest ally. My male loneliness video was the fastest growing video on my
I feel
channel
like that
to
was a
date,
hostage situation
and
for
there is
some
a
reason.
reason for that. It resonated with a lot of people. I got hundreds and hundreds of comments every single day by men venting in my comments section, feeling like for once they were being heard and that they were in a place where they could talk. It was simultaneously the most heartwarming and heartbreaking thing I've ever seen. And this discussion blew up so much that it eventually reached TikTok.
So apparently there's a male loneliness.
TikTok for sure, but yeah, TikTok is. To be fair, I am a woman on TikTok, so I get suggested things for women and stuff like. No, there is a mixed bag. I would say I've seen a mixed bag on TikTok, but I would say I do understand why talking about male loneliness reaches out to men, because they feel like they can't talk about being lonely to anyone, because women have other women, but I feel like men don't feel like they can talk to other men about being lonely either, unless it's in like certain communities. But the thing is, some people, it's very hard, because I feel like when we talk about male loneliness, there is a lot of other opinions put onto it that is what turns people off. And I feel like if we want to talk about male loneliness, we talk about male loneliness, but and not put a political view on it, ideally. That's my only thing on it. It's like, because I talk about my friends about them being lonely and stuff like that, but I talk about it in the emotional sense and things in their lives causing it, not just a conspiracy theory, I guess. That's all I wanted to say on that.
epidemic right now.
Is this
be
the
antagonistic as fuck.
consequences of your own actions? Men get recognized for the useless things that they are.
Okay. I do reckon this is incredibly antagonistic and not helpful. I have the same point. If you have a problem with some things men do, stick to the point. Don't make it a part every single conversation. I don't like that horribly antagonistic side of this either, because it's that some people they are just lonely. It's because they're not socializing and stuff. They're not every person that's lonely is an asshole. You know, there is some assholes out there that I can't, sure, but like, it's not everyone's fault why they're lonely, and I feel like this isn't helpful at all.
In
Attacking
society,
people is never helpful.
and what do men do? Oh my god, I'm lonely!
Is there a male loneliness epidemic right now, or are more and more women just progressively realizing that there's a lot better things to do in life than be stuck with a toxic, insecure man?
I don't think
My personal opinion, though, is like women not dating isn't the only reason men are lonely. Same with men not dating isn't the only reason women are lonely. I feel like there's a lot of reasons everyone is more lonely. So I just hate making it's like men are lonely and complaining about loneliness. That's because women decided to leave. And it's just like, there's a lot of reasons they're lonely, not just because people aren't dating as much. Same reason there's a lot of reasons people aren't dating. And I do think it's worth talking about, because that's like, what happened to the mental health awareness that we had, like, when I was getting raised up, where everyone was fighting for mental health awareness, but when men talk about being lonely, it's like, shut the fuck up. Everyone should be able to talk about being lonely, in my opinion. I feel like some of the things we were, like, that were being fought for when I was a child is, like, dead, almost. It's kind of really depressing.
I think we're in the middle of a male loneliness epidemic. We're in the middle of a mass female awakening.
You're just reaping the consequences.
I find this mass female awakening, I find is very a contradicting point to me. I do think a lot of people are becoming aware of some things as you grow older, you naturally do, but the idea that women are only waking up now to feminism and women's rights is absolutely, like, kind of insulting. That's not why everyone's lonely. Like, feminists have and equalists has existed for like 100 years at this point. These aren't new.
of your terrible upbringing, your own actions.
Some men are lonely because y'all are fucking creeps.
Yeah.
One, because your own actions, your own upbringing. If you were it's not your fault if you were raised by an assholes and you're trying to shake an assholeness. I hate that thing that your upbringing, you're just reaping the rewards of your actions. That's not your actions, is it? That's someone else's actions. I found that statement to be a counter. But I do agree with that. Some people are creeps, men and women. Some people are creeps. I've met some crazies out there. And yeah, some people are lonely because they are assholes. But I choose to believe that is not the majority of why people are lonely. There are some assholes out there, but majority of lonely people, that's not the reason.
Deserve to be lonely. Every single one of them. This is their fault. Fuck them.
Men's.
Again, I hate generalizations. I hate going all women, all men, all leprechauns. I don't know. Like, I just hate when everything's just shoved into a group to easily hate upon. It's very annoying.
Loneliness epidemic that's going on. That sounds like it really sucks. Just wondering if they've considered smiling more.
Wow, that's a really funny joke.
We're going into this point, and I've been pausing a lot of this point because I think I've seen a little clip of this, of making fun of this joke, and I agree, as someone who's been on the internet a long time, let the smiling joke die. It's been 1,000 years. We have bigger problems right now, and I agree, I shouldn't be told what to do, but we all know, fucking come on.
I've never heard that before.
Have the men just tried smiling a little bit more?
You know, I'd recommend smiling more.
I swear
Have
Zoomers
they
just
tried
like
smiling more?
regurgitate old
Have you thought
jokes
about
and
smiling
ideas.
more?
Maybe they should
Sometimes.
smile more.
Maybe they should try to smile more.
Have they tried smiling more?
That's awful. Have they tried smiling?
Is this why people think women aren't funny? Bleak. Now, TikTok isn't the only place.
Honestly, like, most people aren't that creatively funny, in my opinion. Most things are the same regurgitated joke in general. But so a thought I just had watching this is what I find interesting is that I just realized it kind of feels like someone who realized people care about other people for the first time and their mind was blown. I feel like a lot of some of these internet people, like when they're like, oh my god, women have rights or men have feelings, this is actually something that's blown their mind. They have never thought about this, and that's how they're coming off the people before this. Like, they realized some things way later than everyone else in the population, and then they're like, what? That blew my mind. But obviously they haven't got there yet because they haven't realized that everyone has feelings, which is the whole point of the male loneliness thing, is everyone has feelings. Sorry, I hiccuped. And I just feel like it's like people that are like emotionally stunted that hasn't realized like most normal things people have. I don't know. Continue.
Where this insanity happened. The thumbnail of my video went viral on Twitter, which led to some of the most funniest and unhinged reactions. So we are going to go through some of these and talk about them, as well as some of the angry comments I got from the manosphere. Let's jump into it. Male loneliness is not real and not valid. Men are lonely because they are terrible people. Why the f should anyone have empathy for men?
I truly believe we should have empathy for everyone. If someone is a giant cunt, give them the middle finger, but empathy is ideally free. We can understand a situation and go like, this is bad, but I still have empathy for your loneliness, and I think that is important.
Men were born bad. Men are subhuman, and their loneliness can't be cured because they can't relate to actual human beings. Most men are born useless, and are meant to die alone. Nah, male
Twitter always
suicide
coming
rate needs to be
fucking
higher,
dark
actually.
ones.
These men are 100% the most misogynistic demons on the planet and deserve every bit of loneliness they feel. LOL. You don't.
Okay, I feel like the thing is, a lot of people have this idea of the men that are lonely. The only men that are lonely are like the deepest, darkest, rootest evils on the internet that are like, that has, you know, that most unhinged opinions. And they think they're the only people that are lonely. But loneliness is a global problem. And I think putting it down to the worst common denominator in a group isn't, like, solving anything.
I don't understand the pleasure it gives me to see these men crying and depressed. Imagine losing
evil.
a world that is
In my
literally
opinion,
built
it's
for
kind of
you.
mean to
This is an insane question to ask, considering how society continues to fail women and girls at every turn. Crazy how men's well-being is considered a communal responsibility, but women's well-being isn't even considered. Oh, how delightful! A tweet from Earth 2! I'm so tired of the idea that we must have infinite empathy for men's loneliness while women are sexualized from fucking birth. We are.
I think the do unto others speech always works in this. Is if I wish to acquire loneliness, I wish to acquire loneliness. Oh, God, if I wish to acquire empathy, I'm such a dumbass with my thoughts sometimes. If we wish to acquire empathy from the world, we must give out empathy to the world. So if we want empathy from men, we should give some empathy back. But I do think this is a give and take, that both sides should give empathy to each other and their problems. But a good start would be basically not being antagonistic to each other would be lovely.
Assaulted, harassed, raped, and killed for something we didn't choose to be.
I can already feel the comments getting
the
up
poor
me.
men and their inability to make friends. You know, we can talk about multiple things at the same time, right? Also, it's deranged to say that society doesn't care about women's sexual assault. We have domestic violence shelters that we can go to. Men don't. Men being assaulted by women, men being raped is all played off as a joke. When a little boy is molested by an older woman, it's seen as cool and hot. Society.
I do say the person who says it as cool as hot is other guys, but I do think we should have an empathy for solving that problem still, because it's still fucked up. No matter who's doing it, it's fucked up. And I've always said it's fucked up. But I do agree with this. We should talk about points, and I feel like because anyone can debate now, the feel of debate is dead. Because to used to be able to debate, you used to actually have to make your points and stick to your points and not go off topic. Because everyone can scream on the internet, you can connect things from nowhere, and it's very easy to aggravate each other.
Society is fucked up all around. It's not a competition. It is not a zero-sum game. My video can exist alongside your advocacy for women's rights. As long as you're not saying dumb fucking shit, I will stay out of your way. I don't.
Okay, this is what I agree with both sides here of You both can exist here, but I feel like both sides kind of do this where they go into each other's sphere. Like, I see people in the feminist comments or the equalists or whatever the fuck you want to call them, the women's problems, and go, but what about men? And women go into the male comments going, what about women? And I don't think it helps either. It's like, we should just both care, ideally. But if you don't care about either side's problems, like, it's very hard to make them care about yours. So that's why you may be in different spheres. But this is why I always go towards equalism. I care about both equal sides because I think that's really important, to care about both sides' problems.
I don't give a fuck about male loneliness. Like, bro, if you can't meet a girl, just dial up the queer homie and hook up like a
People
normal
say some
person.
shit, I swear.
God. If men are lonely on an epidemic scale, why don't they just cuddle and make out with each other? Why don't they just befriend and date each other? Problem solved. I love this advice. Just be gay. Simply become gay. Are you a lonely man? Are you a fucking loser? Consider sucking dick. Tell me why.
Suck a dick. It works every time. I'm sorry. But yeah, I feel like the problem with that is also dumbing it down that the reason men are lonely or anyone is lonely is because they're missing a spouse, which is not the only reason people are lonely.
I, as a queer woman, should take time out of my day to care about men and their issues. Quickly. I'm not disabled. Why should I care about disabled people? Why talk about unions or...
I agree with this point, but I would say that a lot of people, as someone with a disability, really do think that because they don't have a disability doesn't concern them. I've heard some off-the-cuff shit, honestly, because people do think that. But I would say if you're claiming to be empathetic in making this, and that you're progressive or something, you are so coming off like an asshole, like that other chick. She's like, why would I care? It's like, if you're virtue signaling, at least keep up with the virtue.
There's rights when I'm self-employed. If I only cared about causes that only affected me, I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I mean, yes, you don't have to care. You don't have to care about everything. But it doesn't affect me, so why should I care is just a terrible reason not to care.
I agree with that. You don't have to care about everything. You don't have to be politically minded. You don't have to realistically get up in arms about most things. But if I agree with that fact is that it doesn't affect me, so I shouldn't care, is a terrible mindset for most things.
No such thing as misandry, just women who have had bad experiences with men and have woken up. There's no such thing as racism, just white people who have had bad experiences with black people. That's you. That's what you sound like. Can't.
I do agree with this fact too. Someone's gonna be like, how dare you agree with shit on something? But I agree on some things, I just don't always agree on the execution. But I agree with this fact of it does scream in a very similar way. Because I understand being on guard to a party that has hurt you in the past. Having PTSD, that is something you have to work for. But not caring and lumping an entire group together is not good or helpful to anything. Because how can you actually cure the things that are actually problems, like from the assaults of women, etc., if the entire party isn't included in improving these problems? That other party being men. I feel like I lost my little there.
Stand this sort of pathetic pity party. We live in a time of abject plenty compared to any other time in history. Yeah, stop being depressed. You have a bunch of cheap plastic shit from China. Line goes up, world more gooder. Male loneliness epidemic, and it's just them not being able to get laid. Like, we really don't give a fuck. I love how this is always the go-to when it comes to this conversation. Oh no, the men aren't getting laid. But if you, like, actually talk to some of these guys, like, even if you talk to some of these incels, the ones who, like, don't hate women, they're gonna tell you that it's not really about sex. It's about companionship. It's about friendship.
I agree with this. The companionship and friendship, if you aren't if you're like, oh, I hate all women, no one can help you with this loneliness or girlfriend, honestly. If you're like, I hate all women, you're in the same camp of the people who's like, I hate all men. You are, unless you're coming back to some sort of, or like, at least care for some sort of for women in something, then no one can really help you with the relationship loneliness. But I agree that for majority and the average person, the loneliness is companionship. And I agree here. And
It's about
I'm
having
glad
a
you bring up
girlfriend, a
for the
wife,
people
a
that don't
family.
hate
And a lot of
women.
these people were like, well, you know, that's why we should just legalize sex work. And honestly, I don't think that's a solution. Maybe it's like a temporary one, but it's kind of like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. I don't think paying for meaningless sex with a stranger is going to solve the problem. In fact, it might
agree
make
with this
it
point
worse
then.
over time. Instead of male loneliness epidemic,
I think for some people that maybe a sex worker is the right choice for them. In some countries, you actually get, for disabled people, there's a stipend for an emotional coach, which is mainly for people that has a hard time actually, because they are so outside of the societal norm, getting physical touch or care. And so the government pays for that because it is a mental health thing. And it can be anything from someone to just to hold and cuddle you or to spend time with you to a sex worker. It can be used for. I do see in some scenarios that can be helpful, but I don't think being frustrated and angry it would help the people, because I see the most people on the internet is a very extreme incel sides calling for sex workers, but I don't think that actually solves any of their problems that they're having. Like, but I can see in the help of someone that literally can't get any emotional or touch because they're so cut off from society, it could be helpful on that. But yeah, I don't think actual sex would solve any of these loneliness problems for the majority of people.
call it a cis male unfuckability crisis. It's just like what I said in the video. They have to add cis now because they don't want to insult trans men. Men suck! I hate them! Oh, not you! You're not a man. Yikes!
Okay, I do find that funny. I'm not a fan of the cis thing, mainly because I don't support labeling someone anything they don't want to be particularly labeled unless it's a conviction. Because that's when your choice of being labeled it is out the door, is when you're convicted. But 100%. But jokes aside on that is if you even if you are like bisexual or something, if you have only dated like men or women, go call yourself gay, call yourself straight. You are personally in charge of your labels because they're yours, what you use for yourself. And I do think it's a bit silly to try and force a group to have a label, because that kind of goes against, for me, what the core idea of that is that it isn't bad to be who you are, and you can choose to label yourself or not. And I think the cis thing is just like a little bit going against that for me, and I don't particularly like it. Controversial, but I don't particularly like it.
When they stop killing women, I'll stop generalizing them. Maybe I'll start worrying about their loneliness when they stop unaliving and raping children and women. Yeah, lonely guys, stop raping children, and maybe you won't be so lonely. What's all this hubbub about male loneliness? Y'all are acting like you're oppressed when I've opened myself up to friendships and relationships with you just to get told I have sucking eyes. That is hyper-specific.
It is hyper-specific, but there is some fucked up stuff. I would say it is very hard, some in the idea, because there is a niche section of men that can't seem to have friendships with women or talk to women, I would say, in any meaningful way other than to try and acquire sex. I truly believe it's niche. But yeah, like I have male friends, but I would say some people do find it very hard to not try and bring something romantic into any time they interact with a woman not related to them. And I feel like that's just a lack of socialization, but you may turn someone out if you just go up to them and say, you had dick-sucking eyes. But I truly believe that is not the majority. Praise be. I truly believe.
Not everyone is your ex-boyfriend. All of men's problems are created by the-
I think the point there is that's not her ex-boyfriend. That's the point. That's not her ex-boyfriend. Those are just random guys. They're just guy friends. Those are not ex-boyfriend. Those are ex-guy friends. And there's a reason they're ex-guy friends, because they got kind of weird. But we have all met that guy or that guy friend, or even some girls, where they can't help but absolutely hit on every single fucking person that they ever meet. And you're just like, dude, chill the fuck out. Or lady, chill the fuck out. Because you're just like, how are we supposed to have a friend group if you're just trying to fuck everything? God damn it.
themselves. How is it women's responsibility to fix them? Seriously, why is it always women's job to fix everything? Any chance to blame other women she seems to always take. LMAO, you are the problem. It's you carrying water for the patriarchy and blaming women for men feeling lonely and radicalized. I find it repulsive anytime I see a woman like her do shit like this. It makes me actively turn violently against things that even I would originally think are nuanced topics. And also, yes, men are lonely. No, it's not up to women to fix that. Fuck off, Nazi bitch. Things I blamed in the video. Technology, social media, dating apps and the commodification of love. The media, low wages, the housing crisis, social alienation, lack of community, the left not speaking to men, the feeling of having no purpose. Things I didn't blame. Women! Now this might
I would say from watching the first video, there are some things that were like pointed a little towards women, but I think the real thing that turns it against it is the comment section kind of blaming everything towards women. I read some of them, I've got some of them, and I feel like sometimes with streaming, YouTubing and stuff, the things around the video sadly influence how people interpret the video, in my opinion. So that's not particularly Shoe's fault in this. But I would say that a lot of those topics, for some people think connect to women being at fault. Like, I think she talked about education too. And a lot of comments I got on it that education and women getting education or something was to blame. And it was very odd that the connection jump, and they were like, but Shoe backed up. But Shoe and herself in this video saying she's not blaming women. So it's an interesting take. Where does it go towards from not... Where did it jump, the shark? To, because even the comment section is saying a lot of things and backing up that women are at fault here. So that is something too. To be fair, I saw a lot of comments also not saying that. So that's true. But that's just, I guess, human nature where everyone focuses on the negative thing. So they may not see the good comments and focus on the negative comments. Oh, but also, she didn't bring it up, but oh my god, I absolutely hate the overuse of the word Nazi. Oh my god, I'm so sick of it. Same with so many others at the moment.
It come as a shock to you, but not everything has to do with women. Sometimes we can talk about other things. Sometimes those other things are not women. My video was about society as a whole, and yes, that includes women. I never said it was women's responsibility. I think I mentioned women like once, and it was to say that women are also lonely, but that the media and society treats women's loneliness much differently than it treats men's loneliness. And yet, thousands of tweets and comments about how I was apparently blaming women, and how it's not women's fault. It's to the point where I'm like, is this projection? Do you think it is your fault? But again,
another word I hate really overused on Twitter is projection. If you disagree with any topic, you're projecting. It's so annoying. Apparently, if you disagree on anything, it's like, I don't think it's cool. Dude, I can't believe you like bananas. They taste weird. They're like, are you projecting? Do you like bananas? It's like what the fuck? But I do agree a bit. It's like it's going very far.
And my video was not about you. My video was about men. And if you want to listen to a video about women and women's problems, like I said in the original video, tune into literally anything else. Go to any college campus, turn on any TV show, watch a CIA ad. She's so embarrassed.
A CIA ad? I know that. But I would say that other than women's loneliness is put as more of a, you gotta empower yourself, girl, and men's pulling out of F's in the chat when men are lonely, I don't think society as a whole cares about us as people being lonely. Realistically, it's just that there is some girls saying you gotta own your loneliness, because if you can't change it, you gotta own it, kind of girl boss mentality that's going around. But men don't have that, and I would say that's the biggest thing. Again, there's no lifting up from men from even their own direction, which is unfortunate. But I do think in the general sense of society, no one cares that we're lonely. Sadly. As the government, does our government care that we're lonely? Oh fuck no. The only thing they care about from our loneliness is if we have babies, to keep paying them, and that's it.
Embarrassing. Made an entire career out of being a pick-me. You didn't watch the video. And I'm not going to. Well, I didn't watch the video because
I do hate this, having an opinion on something without watching it. I just go like, I don't know if it's for me, and I don't watch it, and then I don't have an opinion. That's what happens when I won't watch it. Like, some people are talking about the Kotaku articles. I refuse to give an opinion on it till I read the articles and looked through it. Because I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to read it, because I don't read articles because they're trash. And I feel like a lot of people should take that mindset more. If you're not willing to do the research, watch it, or anything, stop taking secondhand information on the internet as the truth. This is my biggest gripe with the internet. Google is free, guys.
I'd rather shoot myself than sit through a shoe video. Can someone take one for the team and watch this vid to get an answer? I'm sorry, but it was a 20-minute long video. I have ADHD, and I know some of y'all do too, but I know you motherfuckers are watching 5-hour YouTube documentaries about shit like iCarly. I know you could take time out of your busy schedule from being the most miserable people on earth and watch a 20-minute long video. Here, does this help? Are you paying attention now? She doesn't need to say it's women's fault for us to know exactly what she means. This is like bordering on schizophrenia. Yeah, she didn't say it, but we all know she did. This is why I advocate for mental health care to be free. We need to get these some therapy.
I do agree, for everyone, mental health care should ideally be free, taken care of. Oh my god, someone's gonna say something about socialism. I can feel it in my bones. I don't know what that word means. How dare you? Who said that? But I do agree with this, that I don't think I feel like people come to some conclusions because of the communities, or like what's said in some comments of this, or them seeing the bad comments of this, or some random person has said, don't you see, Shoe0nHead thinks women are the problem too, a random tweet, which doesn't particularly mean Shoe said that. And I do think it's kind of bad to put the words in the mouth of someone else when those words didn't even come from them.
Male loneliness this, male loneliness that. Do you know how isolating it feels to almost never be able to develop genuine friendships with men because they see you as nothing more than an object for sexual conquest? I'm gonna tell you something not many people probably have told you in your life. It's not about you. I get that the friend zone is a very frustrating thing to deal with. Trust me, I know. Nothing worse than enjoying being friends with a guy, but not having a romantic attraction and having to cut him off because you don't want to lead him on or hurt him. It sucks being girlfriend zoned. But coming into this conversation, basically like, woe is me, so many people want to fuck me, is a little insane. Like, maybe if this discourse was about the friend zone.
Yeah, if it was about the friendship, again, connecting information that doesn't really connect. I understand that is a true gripe. I myself went through many male friends. To be fair, I've gone through some female friends for different reasons. Obviously not because they wanted to fuck me, unfortunately. But I have gone through the same problem. But this conversation is not about the friend zone or the girlfriend zone or friendships with that. And yes, it slightly connects to the community problem, but the real problem isn't actually even friendships with women. So I do hate the connection of things that don't matter in my mind. Oh, not matter, doesn't connect. And if you hear an Australian bird, I'm sorry, that's just my country.
Zone, this would make sense. But this is like barging into a conversation full of starving people and being like, I ate too much chicken tendies, you guys, my tummy hurts. Like, get out of here. Women got sick of men creating a society where women were second-class citizens, so now men are facing loneliness. Yeah, this is payback to you for not letting women vote decades ago. You personally, men failed themselves.
Okay, I do agree with this, that I think we need to build up upon, and the idea of a society, like, society is still growing and building, and yes, we didn't get the right to vote at, like, 90 years ago, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But I do think the idea of I think it kind of paints women that we don't have any power in society, which we do have some, and I think it's a little infantilizing. I don't know if that's the real word I'm looking for there, but yeah, I think it's kind of not helpful. At the very least, I don't think it's helpful.
They built a whole system for their benefit, and in the moment it starts to crumble because the oppressed class they've always subjected women is waking up. They start to put the blame on us. Cowards and dangerous misogynists. So first of all, nobody's putting the blame on you. Nobody did that. I didn't do that. You made that up in your heads. And second of all, this system wasn't created for
it's so obvious that they're reading the comments to this videos, not watching the videos. And I really hate when people do that, when they watch comments on videos of like some extreme motherfucker in some part and go, well, that's what the video was about, obviously. I mean, again, another overused word. Media literacy is dead. Another word that even pisses myself off saying because it's so overused. Oh my god.
Average man. It was created for the rich and powerful. It benefits the rich and powerful. They have their boots on our necks, and the handmaidens are like, oh no, they look kind of sad.
Oh my god, I that did break for a second there, but I do agree that the real enemy is the rich and powerful. Again, I'm going to get in trouble there, but I do say that society was meant for the upper class, and that's who it was made for, and then it trickled down. So yeah, it's not particularly just, I don't think it's always made into a gender problem, but I feel like a class problem is more accurate to most of our problems. Yes.
Sorry, who has their boot on your neck? All men? You know who has their boot on your neck? The satanic pedophiles in charge of our government. The soulless
okay. Satanic pedophiles? What the fuck? That was a fucking slap for sure, but like bit crazy.
Demonic corporations that would throw your mother into a wood chipper if it made them make an extra penny. That's who has the boot on your neck. Not Joe Schmo working 2 jobs so he doesn't get evicted. Here's some male loneliness discourse for you. Do you ever at all, even for a second, consider the problem is you? That maybe, just maybe, the reason you're lonely is that you are an awful human being, truly just awful, and that it's right that you are lonely? It's fair. I mean, yeah, they probably do consider that. The suicide rate doesn't lie. Maybe if some men weren't bigots. The solution to male loneliness is literally just being a better person. I love that the implication here is that lonely people are bad people. Every lonely man is just a bigot and a racist and an Andrew Tate fan. I guess it makes
I do think, again, generalization here. Yeah, there are some people that are absolute chronic assholes, and they should probably reflect on that. And maybe they would have problems. And some people's loneliness, men or women, come from they are kind of cunts. But I don't think generalizing all lonely people or all lonely men as that is a bit dehumanizing, I guess. And I think it's not helpful to the situation. I'm gonna like go crazy to this going, that's not helpful now, is it?
Makes it easier for them to like not care about this if they paint these people as the enemy. If you dehumanize the enemy, it makes it easier to sleep at night, I suppose. Now, I started noticing
is a fantastic point. I'm gonna say a fantastic point. I will say that dehumanizing your enemy is a very common propaganda tactic on every side. And I feel like both sides, and well, to be fair, anyone fighting at some sort of idea war in their mind do this, of dehumanize your enemy. Extremists on the male side dehumanize women, that they are all bad and they suck, etc. Monsters, they practically have teeth, kind of thing. And the same with the extreme sides on the, what are they called? Like femme Nazis or something? I don't know what they're called anymore. They do the same thing. Men are evil devils. They're all horrible. They all are trash. Blah, blah, blah. They're practically all out there with their evil pedo bear hands. And it's just all in a way to dehumanize their enemy instead of like being conducive to change. Because I do think a lot of people on either side doesn't actually want change. They want to profit off this discourse. And I think some people may just also be ignorant to this tactic. But that's just my 2 cents on that.
Noticing a reoccurring pattern with a lot of these accounts. A lot of these accounts getting mad about or like dismissing the male loneliness discourse. Many of them have OnlyFans. This is relevant because like out of everyone on earth,
I'll let her cook on why it's relevant. I don't know how much it's relevant, but I'll let her cook.
Why would those people be so mad about someone wanting to solve or at least bring attention to the male loneliness epidemic? This is like a crack dealer getting mad at people talking about crack addiction. This is your opinion, and this is where it belongs.
I do agree slightly on this, because the industry of, like, I guess OnlyFans is based upon loneliness. So is most porn, honestly. But we're not talking about porn, but right now. But I would say the most successful OnlyFans girls would know not to talk about this because it doesn't sell well. But yes, I do think it's kind of an oxymoron to compare the both. They do get to have an opinion, but yeah, I do think it's like an industry also spread on loneliness. I don't think just loneliness, because horniness exists no matter how not lonely someone is. Horniness does not always mean loneliness, but I would say the boom of that industry is because of how desocialized and how lonely a lot of us are. It's the same reason why women spend more money than ever, because loneliness is on the rise for everyone. Yeah, we just deal with it in completely different ways.
Have a good day. I could say that, okay? I'm a YouTuber. That's far more degrading than being an OnlyFans model.
Not exactly wrong.
Face looks like she's pandering to pedophiles.
Oh my god.
That makeup style is so catered to pedophiles. They're actively trying to make themselves look like kids.
The K-pop group isn't how you know they're 14. But, like, I hate this when you look like a pedo or whatever, or you look like XYZ. What happened to don't judge a book by its cover, kids? Come on, do I have to take you back to kindergarten, please? I feel like none of primary school sunk in for so many people. It's ridiculous.
Ah, yes. Children. Notorious for wearing big fake eyelashes and 10 pounds of eyeliner. What? Can't stand this bitch and her side part. Bitches with this makeup style piss me the fuck off. They always wear that type of makeup. Looking at her makeup,
I don't know. What kind of makeup is this? Like, I don't know, maybe Deso inspired mixed with like Western? I don't know. Why is it so hung up
know
on
the
this?
type of person she is.
Weird.
You can just tell by her makeup. Not to be rude, but that makeup tells everything I need to know. Her makeup says everything I need to know. This is literal NPC behavior. Not watching the video, blindly spewing the exact same insults. Just, I have no argument and I must scream. They don't even know why.
Welcome to the internet. Is this your first time? Please play. We need the Bob Bergen welcome to the internet. But honestly, everyone does this on the fucking internet. They just regurgitate things. Honestly, I have an aneurysm every time I go on TikTok because I'm sorry, kids, if you're out there. Please, I hope you're not watching this video, but kids, if you're out there, I'm sorry, but like, you guys just like regurgitate the same information. And if anyone asks, where'd you get that info? You're like, my favorite TikToker said it. It's like, guys, please. Credited sources, for the love of God.
They're mad. They just saw a woman in the thumbnail of a video about men and their brains just broke. Her makeup doesn't look like ours. Her hair is styled differently than ours. Should I be like extra cute in this thumbnail? Would that piss them off?
I'm not like other girls.
Why do we hate her again?
It's triggered a response in me. But yeah, I do find it very shallow, some of these responses. But as a YouTuber too, yes, most people read thumbnails and that's all they read. I get comments all the time on my main channel where all they looked at was the thumbnail and go, what? XYZ is what? And it's like, dude, that's not what any of the video is about.
Again? Guys, why do we hate this person again? Can't form my own opinion, help. Why do we hate her? Why do all incel-adjacent women look like this? When you're a woman talking about men's issues online, and they can't outright call you an incel, they just call you incel-adjacent, I guess. And when they're not calling you incel-adjacent, they're breaking out all reliable pick-me behavior. Pick-me girls are so... CEO of pick-me, high priest.
I would say Pearl is a pick-me. I don't know if this is quite pick-me church stuff, but yeah, it is overused. Another beautifully overused word, in my opinion.
Priestess of pick-me church. So I am the CEO of pick-me and the high priestess. Maybe this video will boost me to pick-me goddess. Watch out, Pearl. I'm coming for your title. Now, I've already talked about
there it is, the Pearl
in other videos, but It's just so lazy, man. I'm so tired of it. I've been hearing it for over a decade now. And yes, there are people who absolutely do fit the definition of a pick-me from both genders. Men who talk about how much they hate men, women who talk about how much they hate women. But I don't hate women. My mom is a woman, my sister is a woman, my friends are women. I am a woman. I can't be women-phobic. I have women friends. But
exactly. I like that she pointed out there, but that is something that I've noticed a lot, especially like in the communities I've seen where someone gets in trouble and they're like, my mom says it's okay. My girlfriend says it's okay. And it's just like, it sounds like you're asking to go get some Doritos. Mom, my mom said I could have another bag. It is so funny.
Insult is just so beyond overused nowadays. Every woman who doesn't toe the current line is a pick-me. It's just a way to socially ostracize other women, to make you fall in line and agree with their opinions. But it's not gonna work here, because I am socially retarded and borderline autistic. So you have no power here. You can't tell me what to believe. You can't change my opinions. You're not my boyfriend. I hope this bitch fails to wake up.
To be fair, that was the main thing I only ever heard about. She was like, he changed her opinion based on her boyfriend. That seems to be the continuous meme I've heard about her. At least she's aware of it, the meme, I guess. But I do think it's important to keep your mind open to other opinions when you form your own, because I do think that groupthink gets rabid, and that's why I like to hear both sides on everything.
Up in the morning. Her terrorism still hasn't stopped. Oh my god. She's still relevant? She should have went down with her anti-feminism shtick a few years ago. I thought she would have fell off by now. If you want to know how I didn't fall off, if you want to know how I'm still relevant after 10 years, look in a f***ing mirror. You stop being cringe, I stop being relevant. Deal? Fun fact, she reached out to incel accounts for help with this video. No, I'm not kidding. Well, yeah, it's good to go to the source and talk to the people who have experience with the subject I'm talking about. I'm not lonely, and I'm not a man, despite what the mainstream media may say. I do not, in fact, have a penis. Do not put in the paper that I have a penis.
We scour the—
Oh my god. True, beautiful rumors. But I would say that going to just incels, because I would say like the average man is lonely for different reasons. There are extreme sides of that, like the incels, but I would say the average man like is lonely for a lot of reasons. So I feel like there's a lot more less antagonistic sources than an like incel, but I don't know how extremely she interviewed, because I did watch a Australian documentary on Australian incels, and I would say there's a huge, just like the furry scale, or the scale of any community of extremeness, there is a scale of the incel too, similarly.
the internet for weird video to show you, and the other day we came across this, the weirdest we've seen in a while.
The problem is Shoe just affirms them instead of converting them. Converting them to what? This is exactly the thing I talked about in my video. These people don't want to actually help men. They just want to recruit them into their little—
I would say that just affirming someone's opinion is never good. I do see a lot of different people just affirming, like, extreme opinions, you know. But we get that in every community. Let's be for real. But I don't think just going into an argument or a disagreement or a debate with the idea to convert someone to your exact way of thinking is the right way to actually change anything.
Little political tribe. Would it be cool if everyone agreed with me politically? I was gonna say yes, but honestly that would be a little horrifying. That would be a very scary world. My goal wasn't to convert men to agree with me politically. My goal was just to bring attention to this issue and put a spotlight on it. It is cool when people tell me, oh, like, you've changed my mind on this, you've changed my mind on that.
I do agree with the whole thing that not everyone has to be exactly lined up on things, because how do you know you're going into the right direction if there is no true debate? If everyone had thought exactly the exact same way, how do you know that you are going to improving the world? Because ideally that's what it should be about, improving the world, quality of life, care for human beings and all that jazz. How do you know you're going in the right direction if everyone just blindly agrees into one direction?
I love that. I love to see that. I was unaware that was my job. My job is to get on YouTube and say poo poo pee pee and everyone go ha 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 and give me money. But in this case, it was for me to go, hey, the men are not okay, and for people to go, damn, that sucks, and give me money. PragerU is sharing Shoe0nHead's video now. Explain to me how she's still a leftist. I personally think it's a good thing when people agree on good things. There should be more people agreeing on good things, quite frankly. I feel like a lot of good things would be done in this country if more people agreed on good things. And I don't know, I think it's pretty neat that this might be the first and last time a video that talks about alienation under capitalism and says the term material conditions will be shown to a massive right-wing audience like PragerU. But hey, don't worry your little heart.
I have no idea what PragerU is. I'm going to be for real for you here, but I do agree you can come out and say you understand a concept. You agree with a concept. You may not agree with the execution. And I feel like a good way, even for people who disagree with some of Shoe0nHead's points, would have been, I agree there is a male loneliness problem. Or I agree there is a loneliness problem. And then make their points instead of just going, go fuck yourself. Because I don't think agreeing there is a problem is agreeing that everything she says is right. Like, you don't have to agree with everything, but you can acknowledge there's a problem. I personally think there is a male and women loneliness, but I do think men are especially lonely, it seems, at the moment, due to a number of reasons.
This will never happen to a left-wing YouTuber you watch. The internet feminists weren't the only ones booty blasted about my video. I also rustled the jimmies of some in the manosphere. You just want more OnlyFans subscribers. You don't care about male loneliness. She's actually a man dressed as a woman. That's why she or he is there speaking about men's issues. Fellas, protect your sanity, your seed, and your wallet in these current times. These women are shapeshifters. This chick is gonna hit the wall in 10 years. That's why she cares about male loneliness. She sees many cats in her future. They want us back on the plantation, gentlemen. Hold the line! I don't really understand what the conspiracy here—
That is like the extreme side that is harder to help with things with loneliness, I feel. Because it's just like, they're in the, I would bite my own nose off to spite my face. And as anyone who's tried to ever help someone who's like literally so angry, they will destroy their life to get the other person destroyed. It's very hard to actually help that. But yeah, there we go.
In general is though, like I'm just talking about a subject I found important and interesting, like I've been doing on this channel. And these guys are like, stay strong, brothers. Don't give in to temptation. Why are we listening to women about male loneliness? Plenty of male figures discussing this. Honestly, I'm gonna say it. SJW behavior, liberal behavior, woman behavior, to imply that I shouldn't speak.
Okay, I do know it's oxymoron, but I see that is a sad thing about the internet. Even though I'm like 99.999%, she's kidding there. She doesn't actually saying that's women behavior. She's just counteracting a point that he would probably make, saying women would do that. But again, yes, anyone should be able to talk about these topics. And it's because why women also need to talk about these, as a lot of people talk on Shoe0nHead's videos, is as more people talk about it in different ways that are palatable for different people, though they may not agree on all the subjects. The idea that male loneliness epidemic or male loneliness is an actual problem will get around because people will say it in different ways. And that's also how you come to solutions, through debate and discussion.
Or be listened to about a subject because I'm not the correct gender. Anyone can talk about anything they want. That's free speech, bit. You don't have to listen. You can make your own video talking about the subject, Mr. Man, but you know they're just gonna call you sexist and misogynist, so you might as well just use me as a human shield. It's not that she's a woman or cares. She's the kind of person who will only talk about an issue because it's popular. Women suddenly want to help men, but only because it benefits them and their causes.
Well, now not only are conservative women talking about it, but also the left. This is the problem with the women that decide to come forward and speak about men's issues. They don't care about men's issues. You must ask the question, Now that they're coming around and talking about men's issues, is it to help men or to win men into their cause?
So first of all, let me just clear something up, because some of you seem a bit confused. I started talking about these subjects 10 years ago, way back before it was popular to do so. Back when I was doxxed, harassed, had angry
damn women only talking about popular things.
Feminists calling my
Can't
job
win
and
sometimes,
trying to get me fired over mocking pop feminism and talking about men's issues. And a lot of these people coming at me now, telling me I'm jumping on a bandwagon, started like 2 or 3 years ago, when it was safe to do so. So with all due respect, sir,
stay out of my territory.
But in full seriousness, it is good when more people talk about this subject. I'm glad you talk about this. I'm glad there are people like the honey badgers who have been talking about this stuff for a very long time.
To be fair,
this girl is a fake who wants
no matter disagreement or anything, or disagreeing or agreeing, I do say, though they say she does this for money or whatever, to an extent, I think it is brave to talk about these subjects, no matter who you are, man or woman, because honestly, fucking Christ, I don't know if I would want to talk about male loneliness in a full-fledged video. Like, God, I would get, like, absolutely punched in the face from every side, because if you agree with that men are lonely, get punched in the face from the extreme left, or the extreme. If you say, I don't think it's all on women why male are lonely, but that is part of the problem, you get punched in the face on the extreme male side. It's such a lose, like, discussion to have. It's so loaded.
Every man to be a castrated beta male feminist commie like her boyfriend probably is. She takes advantage of men like this. Do not listen to her.
Commies all the time?
Lefty women want to help men become good feminists who devote their lives to helping women have all the power so they can make men their servants. Basically, we need to help men destroy men. That's the only way men should be helped. We women said so. Shoe0nHead. Real quote, never trust a woman, even if they are saying the truth. It's so weird how, like, they need to convince themselves that even when a woman is showing empathy and, like, caring about this subject, that she's just, like, a lying snake in the grass. Literally just a mirror universe of these
paranoia at its
It's
finest,
mommy
in
and
my
daddy
opinion.
issues all the way down. Ladies, be a good mom to your sons. Fellas, be a good dad to your daughters. Try to prevent creating the most insufferable, annoying people on earth, please.
I do
don't
agree
know
with this.
if it's
I think
because
good
I grew up
parenting is the
with a good
backbone of
relationship
everything.
with both of my parents or what. But this gender war shit is just so toxic, man. Men and women need each other, you know? We're yin and yang. And the yin and yang is being torn apart by miserable people. Miserable people who want to make you miserable as well. One of the most valid criticisms I got about this video was that I didn't offer any solutions. And honestly, that's because I don't have any. I wanted to talk about the problem.
Okay, this might actually lead to me unmuting my other comment, my other Shoe0nHead. When I got roasted, I got absolutely destroyed because I pointed out that she didn't have any solutions. But this, and I didn't quite like the format of it. But here she is saying she didn't put through the solution because she doesn't know what the solution is. And that is completely fair. That is completely fair in my mind to say I was bringing up an issue, but I don't actually have solutions for it. And that is completely fair. And it makes me view her other video differently. It would have been great if it was in that video because then I would have viewed it at a completely different light. But that is my defense on that video too, that I will put up there, and maybe I'll even unmute the comments on it, that she didn't have any solutions because she doesn't have any, because it is actually a fucking hard subject. And I do agree with that. Sometimes you just want to commentate on something and bring awareness to it. It doesn't mean you have all the answers.
But I don't know how to solve it. A lot of YouTubers
And that's completely
streamers
fair.
and talking heads will get up on their platform and like pretend they know the answers to everything. But the truth is, I don't. I just think that it's a step in the right direction to be like, hey men, you're struggling, but you're not a bad person. You matter. And if I could snap my fingers and cure this, I absolutely would. But at the end of the day, men are men, and man problems require man solutions. And that solution, of course, is giving me money. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm reading the comments on that video.
I do agree to that sense that I think man problems in the end do come down to man solutions. Same with women problems in the end do come down to women's solutions, because the only person who will advocate the most for yourself or your agenda, blah blah blah, or the group you're included is yourself, and that is important. But I do I think it's good to discuss it and be involved in some solutions. But yeah.
Video all the time, and I will read the comments on this video as well. If you see some people talking about their experiences and venting about their issues and their problems in the comments, reply to them, support them, join in on the discourse. The Shoe0nHead community is a very diverse community, not like race-wise, I'm pretty sure you're all fucking white, but like politically diverse.
I do find it funny that she on purpose, she actually admits to that, but it's like, at least she said it with her whole chest. And a lot of people may complain about things, but I do respect someone who honestly candors about the things around them. It's like, even if it's a joke, she acknowledges them, and I respect that. I do respect that.
Diverse, but we can all come together to talk about the issues that matter, and I think that's really cool, and we love to see it. And I will see you in the next video.
Okay, so this is done and dusted, this video. I think she did a better job than I expected from here on here. I do get, like, some of the points. It's like, anytime you talk about a subject, sadly, it is very easy to antagonize, because even if you counter a point, especially with different communities, you can accidentally antagonize someone. That is true, but honestly, I don't think she was, like, unreasonable with most of these takes, and I do agree with a lot of them on this one about like how ridiculous some points are, and a lot of it stems, I think, from the mindset of that is my enemy, so my enemy is wrong. I will not take anything that my enemy says, and I really hate that mindset with no matter who the fuck is doing it. So yeah, it was a good watch. It was interesting, and it puts more perspective into the first video I watched, which I had different opinions on some things, and I talked about them, and some people didn't like that, and that is fair, but I don't think, and I do still stand by the fact that I do think the loneliness problem is very complicated, and there's a lot of reasons why both men and women are lonely, and why men are hit in the loneliness the hardest, but I also do think that not having a woman isn't the only problem, or women being bad is the problem. There's a lot of fucking problems. So yeah, there we go. I'll see you next time, homies. And I know, sorry if I offended anyone. What can you do? I say things, and yeah, that's about it. Bye.